I mean, this looks good, but it's getting a little warm. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about how I moved to Berlin, and I'm still mid-process. This is Making a Better Life with Ashley Adamson. A lot of topics are like personal development, personal growth, and also things that I'm learning about. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment, or if you just have a question for me. So how I moved to Berlin. Whew. There's a lot of bumps here. My sister lives in Leipzig, and last year, she was actually going through a really dark place. She looked at me and she said, Ash, like, I don't know if there's anything left for me. I don't feel like I need to be here, and the only thing that's stopping me is that I feel bad for all of the other people that are going to be upset about me leaving. But I have no fear around death. I have no fear around that. Oh my God, like this is this moment where I see a reality in the future where my sister no longer exists. And I'm now reflecting back on that moment. I lost the most incredible and important person in my life. And I just let it slip through my hands. I said to her, I think you need a hug. Would you like a hug? And she said yes. And so I reached out and I gave her the biggest hug ever. And in that moment, as I hugged her, I suddenly realized what I had to do in order to keep her and to keep her in my life. It just came out of my mouth. I said, I'm gonna move here to Berlin. We're gonna live in the same city. We're gonna be sisters here, and we're gonna have a great time. And I know that you have seen everything that can be seen, but you haven't seen what we can do together, what we can create here in this city. And that completely changed. And she realized that she was needed, that someone needed her in her life, and that she was loved, right? We all need that feeling of feeling loved and needed. I get that feeling all the time. I would like a partner. No standards though, not lowering those. 3 months ago, this is how recent it is. I talked to my sister, Helen, are we actually gonna do this? She said, yeah, now going home to the United States. Oh my God, like, how do I do this? How do I even like make this decision to make sure that it's clear for me because it's a big move. I'm moving country. What if I changed my tickets to fly back 3 weeks later and prototype living here? I'm doing it, Helen. I'm changing my tickets right now. It's going down. I'm gonna be here for 3 weeks and it's totally gonna change my life. I went out and I danced and I went on dates and there were some really cute guys. Hi, it's your girl. I'm gonna go date some Berlin guys and y'all might as well hear about it because that's gonna be fun. My exposure to Berlin guys thus far is that they're all really tall and good looking. Where he reached across the table, that was like a very masculine thing and found that very attractive. But when he actually kissed me, it was kind of just like kissing. I'm just moving my lips and they're just doing that. I made friends and met people. Said, okay, I need to go find out how I need to do this. So I spoke to a lawyer and the lawyer's like, you need to move here by March. This was 2 months ago. I'm flying back, I'm selling all my stuff, and then I'm flying back here. Whew. I basically went home, sold all my stuff. I'm a little overwhelmed. Look at all my stuff that I have to pack. It's just all over the place. What is it like to control our ability to be overwhelmed and actually manage that? Taking a moment away from this overwhelmness has really given me a little bit of clarity. I'm actually going to just like start jamming it all in. But in doing that, I think it's going to help me figure out what I need to eliminate. So on Valentine's Day, right before I flew out, I met this beautiful, gorgeous girl who reached out to me on Instagram and said, I want to take you out to a fancy dinner and I just like to get to know you. I know you're leaving soon. And we clicked so hard, so hard that we ended up spending the whole weekend together. I went to ride her horse, Kelsey, with her, and then she bought a ticket to Berlin with me. I ended up moving to Berlin with 2 suitcases and my Valentine with me. The day we landed, we went out dancing at Berghain, which if you haven't heard of Berghain, it's like a factory from Eastern Germany when the Russians made it. My sister was there and I had no idea, and she was celebrating her birthday and we didn't see each other. No, I can't believe it. My Valentine, like she took me out to an amazing dinner and I felt super fancy. And then I had to register Hey, so this is my outfit for today. I am going to the German registration office. It means that I officially live here. It means I can officially work here, but it's this one piece of paperwork that is kind of like the crux of doing that. I can't find an apartment without registering, and I can't live here without registering, but they could also deny me if I don't do the paperwork correctly or make it really hard if they don't like me. So I'm just trying to look, like a little good. It's like one of those moments where the rubber meets the road, where you're feeling like now is the moment of truth. So how do I tell you this in 1 minute? I went to the registration office. They told me that they were not taking new registrations as of today. I found out that because I had made an appointment, I could get in. I went upstairs, I waited. I looked for my number. The number didn't get called. In the corner was my number in red, which means I missed it and that it was actually about to be terminated. So it said, go to room 2. I went down the hallway and all I could see was room 14 through 20. I went upstairs, couldn't find anything, and came back downstairs and was like, spy. And then the lady's like, other way. So then I ran across the hallway, found the room, double checked my paperwork and asked me questions in German that I couldn't answer, pulled in someone who spoke English, and then they told me I had to register for a visa. And so at this point, I'm about to cry because she basically just told me that I can't live here and that I have all these other problems that I need to figure out. And she says, oh no, sorry, I didn't mean that. It's all good because you're a British citizen. You'll have to do this later after Brexit is done. She gave me the registration and now I live here. And then coronavirus hit. So I got here, then they quarantined and closed off the borders, and I just made it. We both got COVID. I'd wake up suffocating as if I had just woken up from being dipped into a swamp. It was nightmarish. I was afraid of going to sleep. And I have a whole thing about letting go of myself and letting go of death, and I made a video about that, ironically, right before it happened. In other news, I also have to find a place, but I was sick when I started looking for a place and ended up signing a contract for a place I hadn't seen. So I went to the place and I walked away from the contract. I ended up walking away. And I'm a little stressed and really sad and disappointed that place wasn't for me. I felt trapped. I felt like part of me was screaming, no, 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 when I walked in there. It looks great on the surface, but do you ever get that feeling in your body that just something doesn't feel right? That was that for me. And I felt like if I stayed there, I would feel trapped. I would feel depressed. So I walked away and I'm gonna start over again looking for a place. Here goes. So it was kind of like a whole taking a jump and a leap of faith. And the great news is I have just got the contract for a new apartment in a perfect place, and I'll show you some videos of the area that I was looking at. It's in the best area, sandwiched between 4 parks. So I'm very excited to have a place to live in. And so that's where I'm at right now, is moving into my apartment and decorating, and all of that's coming up soon. As well as I need to cut my bangs, so I'm gonna make a learning video about cutting bangs. And write me a comment about what you really enjoyed. I'd love to hear from you. And see you next time. Bye.